All right, the Eureka E20 Plus. I have always had this weird affinity for like robot vacuums. Ever since I saw like my first competitor brand that hit the market first, I was like, whoa, sick. And I don't vacuum a lot, but the idea of someone cleaning your house every day on your behalf is cool. Special thanks to Eureka for reaching out and offering to send us the Eureka E20 Plus. This, in my opinion, with the 4 vacuums we've had, robot vacuums, is the best bar none. Eureka has a whole lineup of vacuums and mopping robots that you can purchase. This is the one they've sent us. It does a great job. A little bit of backstory. I have a dog, an Aussie Doodle, who's not supposed to shed. I have 2 kids and we have a very busy life. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective of what our house probably looks like on any given day. There's toys lying around, there's dog hair in places. He doesn't shed a ton, but like you'll see in the B-roll we show like how much hair this thing picks up. But we're gonna dive into a full review on the Eureka E20 Plus. And before we do, if you're new to the channel, on this channel, we talk about tech from an intentional living and minimalist perspective. We also talk about tech from an experiential point of view and less so about the specs of tech and the battery life and the screen sizes and all that kind of stuff. So if you're more interested in like, how do these technologies improve our life or hinder our life, please consider subscribing and like this video for more. So I think what I'm gonna do on this video is there are a lot of talking points Eureka has given me, which I think I will talk about in a minute. But before that, I just wanna talk about the overall like experience of using this vacuum compared to the vacuums I've had before. So I'll mention, I've had an iRobot, or Roomba, or whatever they're called. I've had a Shark, which is my most recent before this one. I've had a Eufy as well, and they're all different models. As we've made more money as a family, it's funny, like we've been able to pay more for our robot vacuum over the years, but all the way from our apartment to the house we're in now, we've had a robot vacuum, and I think everyone should have one, honestly. It's just, again, a no-brainer when it comes to like someone is working on cleaning your house every day. Even if it's not as good as you would vacuum, someone's doing it for you every day. So my biggest talking points with this vacuum is this. It's incredibly smart. It is very efficient. It has a lot of suction power. It mops, in air quotes, which we'll get to here in a second. And we have all hardwood floors in the downstairs space where we use this, and we have some rugs here and there, like small door rugs and stuff, but mostly hardwood floors. So I think the thing that most impressed me about this was its like mapping functionality. And Eureka told me, hey, make sure you let it vacuum a few times before you say, okay, it's good and in working condition, because it does take a few laps around your house to like really map out the house. But it is fascinating to watch, even on that first time where it starts with no map. As it goes around your house, like it starts projecting like where it thinks walls are and stuff, and then it builds that map as it goes. Super fascinating. Much like my robot lawnmower, I could just sit and watch it like for hours. But that's my second point. It doesn't take hours. Whereas in the past, namely the Shark vacuum, takes 2 whole like cycles to clean the downstairs, which our house in total is like 1,500 square feet. So it would go around and do as much as it could, and then go back and charge, and then start again and do as much as it could. It just took forever. This one finishes in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And the reason that is the way it works is it'll go around the outside of the perimeter of your space, our downstairs, for instance. It goes around the outside and gets all the corners and edges very good. And then it goes in these very like perfectly spaced lines where it's covering every square inch of the floor, but not like redundant. It's not like going back over itself 100 times. So like this thing finishes its cycle in 15 to 20 minutes. So that's super cool. Another great thing about it is like you can zone out or map out your rooms or different zones that maybe you have a lot of foot traffic or stuff like that where you want it to clean more often. And you can map those out and send it to a specific area if you want to. It's not necessarily loud, and we usually keep the suction power on the medium. There's like a low, medium, and high. The medium I think is really great. And the fact that it mops is awesome too, because I've never had a robot vacuum that mops. And when I say mops, I mean you put water in the container in the vacuum, and then it has like a carpet kind of mop thing under it, and then the water trickles into it. So basically what you're doing is just wetting the floor and sort of like rubbing off that top layer of filth or film or whatever, which is fine. It's not like you're actually mopping. I think it's more like pushing water around. But if this is doing that every single day, I think that over time, that kind of mopping would actually clean quite a bit. I'll leave that up to you. I've been enjoying it. I do know that Eureka makes other more pro models that actually, when it gets back to the base station, it'll cycle the water and like way more like high-tech stuff, which is cool. And hopefully maybe we could review one of their higher models on the channel one day. The other thing I've noticed is like the bin itself, there's no like bag or anything, and it can hold up to, I think it says 45 days of like debris can be in this huge vacuum tank thing before you have to empty it, which is super awesome too. Before I was having to empty it like once a week, twice a week with the Shark vacuum. So yeah, it just feels like the next step to me, and it's just intelligent. It has a really great like camera system. Every vacuum I've had before this one, like it has that front bumper, so if it runs into something, it recognizes that and then it'll turn around. All the other vacuums I've had will just like straight run into a wall or run into a table leg and then be like, whoops, and then turn and go around. This one, the cameras are so good, I don't even think I've seen it bump into anything. So in terms of having to replace the front bumper or it getting all scuffed and scratched, it hasn't touched anything. So the vacuum also keeps its like clean lookingness. It like keeps itself clean because it's not running into stuff. It's got great obstacle avoidance. If my son walks in front of it, it's like whoop, and then turns. Like it's what it should be. And I think in terms of the amount of cleaning that it does, I'm in a second here just gonna run through some of their talking points because I think these are pretty interesting and things that I haven't necessarily experienced as an experiential review, but are good things to have in a machine. And as sort of a segue into that, I'll say that the brush that it uses to pick up debris is rubber. So like in the past, I've had actual brushes on all of the vacuums and it just gets hair wound in there and it gets really gross and you have to go in there and cut it off. And like, I can see that happening with the rubber one, and they do include a tool to sort of like slice that hair off. But I think because it's rubber, it's a little bit different. I think it picks up better as well as like a brush, which just kind of like scoops in a way up into the vacuum portion. But it's just been working and it's been working really well. And like I said, it's quicker, it's more efficient. It does a great job picking stuff up. The fact that there is some amount of mopping feature, I think is fantastic. You can choose not to use it as well. If you have a home where like you have hardwood and then there's carpet, the mop actually like lifts up so it's not dragging along your carpet and like getting your carpet wet. I think it goes up to 10 millimeters of lift, and I think I captured some of that on B-roll, which I can show you as well. But all right, so I'm gonna kind of read through this because I think some of this stuff is actually really cool. Yeah, the transparent bag-free base station, multi-cyclonic dust collection, whatever that means, 45 days hands-free cleaning. Yeah, so the thing that holds all the debris can last 45 days, 10 millimeter mop lifting function, which I mentioned, 8,000 PA powerful suction. Don't know really what to compare that to. Duo Detect AI 3D obstacle avoidance. Yeah, the cameras on this thing are really cool, and they actually like spin around in the little unit. It feels like radar to me. It's cool. Enhanced night vision capabilities. So if you wanted to run this at night, that's pretty cool. You just run it at night and wake up to a clean floor every morning. Anti-hair tangling brush design. Yeah, the fact that it's rubber, I think definitely helps. Vacuum mop at the same time, 180-minute max runtime, which again, like I'm barely scratching that with how small our house is, but that's quite a long time off of one battery charge, which is pretty cool. 5-stage filtration system, 20 millimeter threshold climbing. So if you have thresholds in your doors and stuff, it can head up over those, which is cool. Yeah, the handle design on top of the vacuum is pretty interesting and super easy to use, and there's a lock on that too. Enhanced edge cleaning. I don't know how, I guess the little spiky things. You can set this up with Alexa and Google and Siri as well. Forgive me if I set off all of your stuff, but you can be like, hey, start vacuuming, and set that up if you want. Multi-level cleaning, which is cool. You can take it upstairs and have a different map, I'm assuming. Cleaning schedules, no-go zone, low water level notification for your mop, which is cool too. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I love this thing. I'm gonna continue to keep using it, but Eureka, thanks very much for sending this out for free for us to use. If you'd like to pick yours up, links in the description down below. Pick yours up in time for Black Friday or buy one for your friends or family. I recommend it. I think it's pretty awesome. So that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Like this video for more. Watch this video next. I think you're gonna love it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.